All set for the face-off at center ice. Red Berenson out there, number 24 for Montreal Canadiens, wearing the helmet. Also Bill Hickey, a white helmet on the left wing, number 8. Jim Roberts, number 26. Keon with McKinney and Bathgate. Cleared in, a delayed whistle on the play. J.C. Tremblay to Jacques Laferriere. Up to Richard, he hit Brewer with it. McKinney was checked. Carl Brewer back, number 2. The opening minute of this first period, Bond hit by number 20. Dave Ballone is out there now with Henri Richard and Claude Provo. Andy Bathgate. A pass for Keon, just failed to click. Claude Provo clears it back into the Maple Leaf zone, and Carl Brewer. A pass to Bob Bond. He's whacked hard into the boards. Bond is hurt, and there's going to be a penalty there. Bob Bond knocked into the boards by Dave Ballone, number 20.
Canadiens penalty, number 20, Ballone. 2 minutes for boarding. Time, 42 seconds.
A boarding penalty to Dave Ballone with Bob Bond getting up on his feet. Now out there for the Maple Leafs, Don McKinney, Dave Keon, Frank Mahavlich, Red Kelly, Andy Bathgate. There's Dave Ballone in the penalty box. Red Berenson, number 24. Number 26 is Jim Roberts, with Terry Harper, number 19, and Jacques Laferriere, number 2. Keon, a pass for McKinney. McKinney up at center. Up over the line with Mahavlich, and he missed it. Berenson coming back down the left wing for Montreal over the blue line. Gets his shot to hit Keon, and Keon goes away, hit McKinney. Keon with it. Back to McKinney, and it's a delayed whistle and shot down the ice by Montreal. Andy Bathgate. For Don McKinney. He shot it into the Montreal zone. He's knocked into the boards by Laferriere. Harper checked by Kelly. It goes over to Berenson. Berenson shot it off Bathgate out to center. Dave Keon back in his own zone. To Mahavlich, to McKinney. Over the line, and it's knocked out again. Andy Bathgate up to Mahavlich. Mahavlich shoots it into the Montreal zone, and back for it is Harper. He handed it right to Kelly. He's given a bump. Kelly tries to dig it out. McKinney back for Kelly. Kelly a shot. Ooh, Mahavlich with a whack at it and missed the net. Bathgate to Mahavlich. Back to Kelly. There's the shot, and he shot wide. Keon lets one go, and it goes to McKinney. McKinney back to Mahavlich. There's the shot, right on. Laferriere shoots it off the boards down the ice. 20 seconds left in Ballone's penalty. Dave Keon to Kelly. Up to Pulford with Stewart over the line. Stewart shot it across the goal mouth. Back to Keon. There's the shot right in front. Stewart getting set. The shot, and Hodge has got it. Face off in the Montreal zone to the right. Pulford, Shack, and Stewart, Horton and Stanley. Beliveau, Geoffrion. Harper. And Talbot. Comes back to Stanley. Over to Horton. There goes Horton's shot. He missed the net. Rebound for Ballone, who clears it down the ice. Stanley shoots it back. Harper hands it to Pulford. Over to Ron Stewart. Takes his shot, a weak one, and stopped by Hodge. Dave Ballone. Checked by Shack. Shack given a bump by Ballone. They go to the boards, and Beliveau with it. At his own blue line, up the center. Long shot. Bauer caught it. Drops it for Shack. In his skates, gets it again. Eddie Shack. Off the boards for Stewart, out to center ice. Talbot. A pass for Ferguson, number 22. His long shot. Bauer caught it. Alan Stanley, number 26, off the boards. He gets it out. Here's a two-man break for the Leafs. One man back. Over the line for Stanley. Closing in to Pulford. He shoots. Oh! Pulford from Stanley.
Leafs goal scored by number 20, Pulford. Assist, number 26, Stanley.
Here's Shack over the line. He's hooked from behind, and the puck is taken away from by Provo. 3:40 was the time of the goal by the Leafs. Hines stopping that long shot. Stewart gets it back to Horton. Horton shot it in behind the net for Pulford. It got away from him. Shack clearing it for Pulford. Pulford tried to center it, and Richard gets it along the board. Stopped by Shack. Shack passed it right onto Laperriere's stick. Laperriere ahead to Richard. Richard to Provo. He's going in on the right wing. There's the shot. Bowers, they scores! Provo got the rebound and ties it up. Claude Provo missed on his first try and tied it up on the rebound. On the face-off, it goes back to Baughan. Baughan off the boards for Mahavlich. He shot it into the Montreal zone. Stopped by Hodge.
Canadians goal scored by number 14, Provo. Assist,
Mahavlich took the puck
number
away.
16, Richard. Number 2, Laperriere. Time 4:21.
Provo from Richard and Laperriere at 4:21. It's all tied up. A pass for Berenson. Stopped by Kelly. Now then it's J.C. Tremblay to Berenson. Berenson, a pass for Hickey, and Mahavlich has got it again. Down the ice. Over the line, he tries to knife his way through. He shot the puck through, but couldn't reach it. Perrier, watched by Mahavlich. He stole the puck, shot it around to Baughan. Here comes the shot. Right on, and Hodge stopped that. Armstrong to Kelly. Right in front. And Mahavlich missed it. It's Hickey against the board. Failed to get it out. Baughan keeps it in. There's the shot, and that was wide. Kelly goes after it. Back to the blue line, and Brewer has to go back to center. Brewer over to Baughan. Back to Brewer. To Kelly. Kelly moves up the left wing, over the line. He gets right through. Takes his shot. It's right in front. Comes back to Bob Baughan. Here goes the drive, and that hit a leg. Mahavlich and Laperriere. Hickey. Check. Mahavlich back to Baughan. Another shot, and that's wide. Brewer moves up, and it's cleared out. And down the wing for Roberts, and he pushed it too far, and Baughan goes back, number 21. To Brewer. Up to Keon. Keon, a long pass for Bathgate. Bathgate after it. Goes against the boards, and play is called. Be a penalty here to Andy Bathgate.
Leafs penalty, number 9, Bathgate. 2 minutes for high sticking. Time 6:18.
Beliveau out there with Bob Russo, number 15. John Ferguson, number 22. Keon has it for the Leafs. Takes a shot that's wide. Geoffrion and Talbot for the Canadiens. So there's 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. As the Canadiens come up the center ice, led by Jean Beliveau, he passed it right onto McKenny's stick, and he shot it down the ice. Score is tied 1-1. Talbot with it, number 17, gets away from McKenny this time. Up the center to Beliveau, over the line with Russo, it's offside. Ferguson went in on the left wing and nullified the rush. All set to go. Pulford knocked it right to Talbot, to Geoffrion. Geoffrion back to Russo. A pass was deflected through. It goes behind the net. Cleared over on this wing. Russo shot stopped by Pulford. Pulford poked it back into the corner. Beliveau worries Stanley. Knocked him off stride. Horton clears it for Stewart. Stewart knocked it out to center ice. Russo had to cover up. A pass to Ferguson. Up for Beliveau. And Stanley missed him with a body check. Stanley knocking it back to the blue line. And Pulford intercepted Russo's pass. Goes to the far wing. Stewart. 2 Canadian players bumped together, Ferguson and Talbot. Talbot has it again, number 17. Pulford watching him. Gets it ahead to Ferguson. Gets away from Stewart. Geoffrion carries on. He's stopped by Stanley. It's offside. And the face-off will be outside the Maple Leaf blue line. It's Richard out there with Provo and Ballone now. Horton, Stanley, Stewart, and Pulford. Horton shot it around on the glass and all the way down the ice. Nobody even saw that puck until it had gone out the other end. It was in the shadow of the glass. Now it's up the ice for Richard. Number 16 over here to Provo. There's the shot. That's wide. The rebound off the boards. Richard given a shove by Horton. Stanley clears it for Pulford. Pulford. A pass out, and J.C. Tremblay stops it. Bathgate getting set to return in 3 seconds. Stanley ran into Provo. Horton off the boards. Stanley's checked, and Horton. And it goes out to center ice where it's picked off by LaPerriere, number 2. Over Pulford's stick. Stanley with it, number 26. For Keon to Bathgate. Bathgate closing in. A pass for Keon, and it got off his skate. Provo comes back for Montreal. Over the line, a drop pass for Richard, and it was knocked off his stick to center. Richard over to LaPerriere. Hit Keon with it. Keon, McKenny, and Bathgate. Up over the line. A pass for Bathgate just failed to click, and it goes back to center. Bond over here to Brewer. Brewer. Flip pass along the boards, and it goes into the Montreal zone. Knocked out again, and Provo has it. Provo and Richard over the line. Back for Ballone. Bond got a piece of him. And Keon gets a hold of it, and there's a penalty here to Bond.
Leafs penalty, number 21, Vaughn. 2 minutes for holding. Time 9:14.
Face-off is in the Maple Leafs zone to the right. Maple Leafs playing a man short. Beliveau with Hickey and Ferguson. Beliveau and Laperriere. Brewer on the defense with Hillman. Beliveau comes up with it behind the net. Still has it in the corner. Passed it out in front. Ferguson fanned on it. Brewer knocked it but not out. Geoffrion shot hit Brewer. Beliveau with it again, number 4. Gets away from Brewer behind the net. Here it's back to Laperriere, his shot, and that's over top of the net and wide. McKinney failed to get it out. Geoffrion shot it out over the blue line, and Hillman goes after it. Hillman with Keon. Long shot offside as Keon went in ahead of Hillman.
Oh, I thought you wanted to come. Sorry. They looked pretty good the first time.
Pulfer and Stewart. Stanley and Horton. Beliveau, Hickey, and Ferguson with Geoffrion and Laperriere. It's up to Pulford. Pulford back to Horton. Over to Stanley. Off the boards for Pulford, for Stewart, and it's intercepted by Ferguson. Ferguson's pass, and Horton breaks it up. Horton over the Montreal line. He's going right in. He shoots it right in front. Pulford missed it. Stewart at it again. Pulford passed it back. Stewart trying to get it loose, and it's brought back by the Canadians. Geoffrion over the line. Drop pass for Hickey. The shot was wide, and here's a 3-man break for the Leafs. 1 man back. Up to Stanley again. Over the line. Back to Pulford. Pulford shoots. Oh, and Hodge got a piece of it. Beliveau shooting it to the far wing to Ferguson. Ferguson, number 22, coming to center. Shot it into the corner. Armstrong back for it for the Leafs and lifts a high one down the ice. Talbot comes back for Montreal. Gets away from Armstrong. Over the line with Provo. Took his shot, and that was wide. And Mahavlich flicks it for Armstrong. Back to Mahavlich. He's in full flight with Vaughn. Over the line. Falls. Pokes it with his glove. Armstrong goes down. There's going to be a penalty here to Richard for a tripping.
Canadians penalty, number 16, Richard. 2 minutes for tripping. Time 11:27.
Face-off in the Montreal zone. McKinney, Kelly, Mahavlich, Bathgate, and Keon. McKinney to Mahavlich. Back to Bathgate. Bathgate over to McKinney. McKinney right in front, and it went by Mahavlich. Keon shot it around to McKinney for Mahavlich. Frank Mahavlich from behind the goal, right to McKinney, and he's shot wide. Frank Mahavlich back to Keon. Keon to Kelly, standing in front, has the puck. Back to Keon. Keon over to McKinney, and that was stopped. Another shot. Grabbed off by Roberts and shot down the ice. Bathgate. Up for Mahavlich. Shot it over the line. Goes after it himself. Harper gets in there first, and they hold it for a face-off. Face-off in the Montreal zone. We have Vlad Provo and Dave Ballone. Perrier and Harper. McKinney, Kelly, Armstrong. Armstrong from the corner. Centered it right in front. Keon after it. He fanned on it, and Balloon's got it down the ice. Here he comes. One man back, over the blue line. Gets his shot, and Bauer stopped that. On the faceoff, McKinney with a number 17. John McKinney, a flip pass to Andy Bathgate. Coming up at center, over for Armstrong on the right wing. Back for McKinney, and he handed it right to Dave Ballone, who shot it down the ice. Keon, pass to Bathgate, up to Armstrong. A pass went through into the boards and into the corner. Keon taking Harper against the boards, and they hold it there. Henri Richard still has 28 seconds left in his penalty. Ballone and Provo. Pulford knocks it to the boards. It's Ballone against the boards this time with Shack. Shack gets it loose. Here's some fun for Stewart. Stewart falls, tried to hook it, and Provo knocked it down the ice. Stanley back. Over to Horton. Horton to Pulford. Pulford straight up the ice with Shack. Over the line, and Shack missed it, and it's offside. 2 seconds left in Richard's penalty. All set to go for the face-off. It goes back to Brewer. Brewer, a flip pass to Bond. Bond pass to Stewart for Pulford, and it goes out to center ice again. And Bob Bond moves up, takes a long shot. Ferguson took a shot at Bond and missed him. Now then Ferguson coming up the ice. Hit by Bond. Now then Pulford gets a chance. Over the line, going in with Stewart. Pass to Stewart, and he missed it. Ferguson failing to get out. Shack lifts a high one. Then Ferguson ran into Shack. Geoffrion's drive, and Bauer caught that to Brewer. Clearing it out over the blue line. Now then Stewart down the ice. There's his shot, and Hodge grabbed that. Clearing pass for Belleville. Gets away from Shack. A pass to Ferguson. Ferguson lifts it in. Bauer stopping it, and Shack is there. He cleared it around on the boards. It went out. LaPerriere couldn't get over to keep it in. Belleville. A pass into the Leaf zone, and it's Brewer back, number 2. Brewer to Bond. Up to Armstrong. To Kelly. With Mahavlich. It's still in Montreal territory at the blue line, and it's cleared out to center. Armstrong to Brewer. Up to Kelly. With Mahavlich. Over the line. Here's the shot. And Bauer stopped it, but it was offside. Mahavlich facing off against Ralph Backstrom. To Kelly. Bounces at center. Russo after it. Hit by Stanley, and Horton's back. Off the boards for Armstrong to Mahavlich, and Hickey gets a hold of it. He flicks it right back into the Leaf zone. Backstrom going after it. Horton's there first. Horton brings it out himself. A pass for Mahavlich. Over the line. There's the shot, a hot one, and that was stopped by Hodge. Comes around to Horton. Lets one go. It hit a leg. There's Hickey falling, and down the ice comes Backstrom with Talbot over the line, back, and Bauer and Stanley stop it with Stanley getting a stick on it. Cleared down the ice for Mahavlich. He gets a hold of that puck, sent it right in front. Back for Backstrom to Russo. Down the ice, over the blue line, he falls. Martin clears it around to Armstrong with Kelly and Keon. Up to Kelly, over the line, and he lost it. Hickey turns back for the Canadians. At center, over the line, got a partial bump, still has it. Kelly took it away from him. Too far for Stanley. Comes back to Stanley to Bond. Bond chopped it down the ice. Bathgate, Keon, and McKinney out there now. Richard on the forward line now for Montreal. Bathgate stopped that, but Harper carries on, number 19. Over the blue line. It goes in behind the net, and Bathgate's there. To McKinney. Back to Bathgate. A pass for Keon, and it's stopped by Harper. Then Bond moves up. Clearing pass off the boards. Bathgate tipping it in. Below, number 20. Checked by Keon. Richard to Provo. Provo stopped by McKinney. Then Keon flicks it. Provo against the boards. McKinney trying to get it loose. Finally hold it there long enough for a faceoff. Face-off in the Montreal zone. McKinney checked by Provo. Provo and Richard with Ballone coming up the center. A pass for Ballone on the left wing. Bathgate broke it up. Richard was offside. Carl Brewer. A long pass for Bathgate to McKinney. Back for Bathgate, too far. Shot out over the blue line. Bond had moved up, but failed to carry it through. Knocked LaPerriere. A long flip shot. Bauer out of the net to catch it. Keon to Brewer. Over to Bathgate. Up to Keon, and then hopped over his stick. J.C. Tremblay partially blocked. Bathgate ran into Richard. Comes down to Brewer. Pass for McKinney, intercepted by J.C. Tremblay over the line. Back to Provo. He's checked, and Bathgate gets a hold of it. Up for McKinney, just a shade too far, and LaPerriere nearly had it taken away from him by McKinney. Hit Bathgate, and that's offside. Hello, Canada hockey fans in the United States. Bill Hewitt here at Maple Leaf Gardens. And the score is tied 1-1 with a minute and 16 seconds remaining in the first period. A 1-1 tie. Montreal won, the Leafs won. Alan Stanley. A flip pass to Eddie Shack. Back down the left wing, up over the blue line. Trying to cut in from the left side. He's ridden off by
Last
Harper.
minute of play in this period.
Trying to get a hold of it. Hofford knocked the Montreal player down. Talbot, here comes Jeffrion. There's going to be a penalty to the Leafs. Jeffrion, a flip pass, goes over to the right wing. It goes loose to Ferguson. Stopped by Pulford, and it's called, and a penalty comes to the Maple Leafs. The scoring plays, Pulford from Stanley at 3:40 and Provo from Richard and Laperriere at 4:21. Penalty to Pulford, likely for elbowing. Vern Buffy, the referee, explaining the penalty.
Leafs penalty, number 20, Pulford. 2 minutes for charging. Time 19:20.
Apparently they call it charging at 19:20. Face-off is in the Leaf zone at the rim of the circle. And it's Keon out there with Armstrong, Stanley, and Horton. Horton shoots it. That hit the linesman Matt Pavlich on the ankle and goes down the ice. Jeffrion back for it. 30 seconds remaining in the first period, a 1-1 tie. At the ice for Dave Ballone. Behind Beliveau, and that's offside. And 5 penalties in this first period, handed out by referee Vern Buffy. 3 of them to the Maple Leafs and 2 to Montreal. The linesman Matt Pavlich, number 7, Ron Wicks, number 10. Jean Beliveau, number 4. Bill Hickey, number 8. And Hickey has his helmet off. He had it on earlier in the game, but he has it off now. And he's replaced as Richard comes out, Henri Richard. Todd Provo, number 14. Dave Ballone, number 20. Jeffrion, number 5. And there's Jacques Laperriere, number 2 with it. He shoots it in. Richard races after it. Stanley's in first. He clears it to the blue line, but not out. Jeffrion getting set. Tried to hook it through. It's in front of the defense. Provo's shot was knocked by Bauer. Then Jeffrion a drive right on, and there goes the bell. With it all around, they don't know the period is over. The bell is ringing. The blue lights are... I still marvel at the agility of Charlie Hodge.
Well, that's true. And when you say the shots were 13, we're not counting the ones that just missed by an eyelash. It probably was another 7.
Well, now we're all set for the face-off at center ice. And Bob Pulford is in the penalty box, so the Leafs are short-handed, playing 6 men to 5. Canadians bring it up. Provo, number 14, is over the line. He waits. His pass for Ballone was just a shade too far. Stanley knocked it to the blue line and out. Jeffrion had difficulty controlling it. Keon to the boards. Finally, Keon backhands it down the ice. 55 seconds left in Pulford's penalty. Ballone back, number 20, with Richard, Laperriere, Jeffrion, and Provo. Ballone to Jeffrion at center. He's partially stopped. Ballone carries on. A pass for Provo to the right wing. His shot deflected by Horton to the corner. Tim Horton with it. He lifts it, but not out. Richard tries to keep it in. Stanley shot it off the boards and out. Laperriere with it, number 2, to Ballone. Into Richard, into the corner. He sent it right in front, and it went all the way out over the blue line to center ice. 15 seconds left in Pulford's penalty. George Armstrong intercepts, tried to go around Laperriere, and Laperriere skated him off neatly. J.C. Tremblay behind the net. His long pass for Richard. Armstrong got a piece of it, and Stanley made sure. Now then, Pulford is back on the ice. The Canadians take a long shot. J.C. Tremblay is caught by Bauer. Bob Pulford. Off the boards to Stewart. Ron Stewart. A long pass for Keon, and was stopped by J.C. Tremblay. Provo for Richard. Horton on the boards, off it to center ice. Laperriere knocks it back. It's Ballone over the line with Richard. Richard takes his shot, and Bauer just got a piece of that one as Richard nearly caught the corner. Here's Keon, a pass for Stewart. He's in the clear. Right, oh, and he went too far. He couldn't control it. Stewart was in the right wing, but he couldn't control it. A long pass for Richard, and Pulford's back. Off the boards for Stewart. Stewart going over the line. Took his shot wide. Hodge grabs it. Then Stanley ran to J.C. Plum. He's right in front for Mahavlich, and he couldn't get a shot. Horton, a pass to Stewart. Stewart right in front for Kelly, and there was Richard to take it away. And down the ice he goes with Malone, who takes the pass. Malone right in front, and Richard just failed to get a stick on it as Bauer deflected it over the glass. Henri Richard within an ace of deflecting that one. Face-off is in the Maple Leaf zone to the right. Bobby Russo out there with Ralph Backstrom and Bill Hickey from Montreal. The Canadians in their white uniforms. It's Keon, at least Kelly with Bathgate and Mahavlich. Here's Bathgate down the ice to center. He takes a long shot. That bounced and stopped. It's cleared along the boards for Hickey. Hickey missed a check from Baughan and Brewer, and Kelly goes back to cover up. Kelly for Mahavlich. A foot pass for Bathgate. Bathgate up at center. Pass to Mahavlich. Mahavlich shoots it in. Kelly was inside the blue line. Face-off is outside the blue line. It's a 1-1 tie after 3 minutes and 3 seconds of the second period. Montreal won, the Leafs won. Puck goes into the Leaf zone. Carl Brewer back. Ralph Backstrom bumps into him. Brewer comes up with it, though. He's given another bump. Then Armstrong trying to come out. Then Brewer and Backstrom were fencing with one another. So there will be penalties. Backstrom number 6, Brewer number 2. Brewer in the penalty box, so is Ralph Backstrom. Keon comes out with McKinney, Martin and Stanley, Red Berenson, Bill Hickey, Terry Harper, number 19.
Canadians penalty.
Talbot.
Number 6, Backstrom. 2 minutes for high sticking. Leafs penalty. Number 2, Brewer. 2 minutes for holding. Time 3:23.
3:23. McKinney chased back. Has it behind the net. Don McKinney. A pass ahead to Tim Horton on the right wing for Keon, and then Horton gets it himself to Don McKinney. Over the blue line, McKinney trying to cut in, stops, back to Horton, and he fanned on it. Stanley to Horton. Tim Horton now to the Montreal line, and over with McKinney, takes the pass, there's the shot, and he missed the corner. Stanley lets one go. That's wide. Hodge fell, he's got his skate, I believe, caught in the mesh. Now he's out and away from the post. At Detroit, Detroit Red Wings 1, Chicago no score, and Bruce McGregor gets credit for the goal from Gordie Howe and Pitt Martin at 5:10. Bill Hickey, number 8, coming up the center. Up over the blue line, Hickey gets his shot, it's way wide, and Horton goes back for the rebound. Off the boards for Keon. Stopped by Harper. Stanley for Horton. Horton away from Berenson. Over the line with Keon. Keon gets his shot. Hodge stopped that. McKinney is driving, hit the post. And McKinney hit the post. Back comes Talbot. Over the line for Berenson. Stopped by Horton. For Keon. Keon and McKinney up together. Over the line for Keon. Keon to Stanley. Stanley moves in with a shot right on. Stanley gets it again, and his shot was wide. Keon keeps it in the Canadian zone. It's Berenson getting a hold of it and shooting it out to center. Alan Stanley now with it. To Pulford. Pulford over the line. His shot hit Harper. Pulford takes Harper into the board. Stewart back to Hillman. There's his shot. It hit a skate. Stewart after it. Knocks it behind the net, and Talbot gets it number 17. Ahead for Ballone, number 20. Back to Talbot over on the wing to Claude Provo. Teams are back at full strength. Ballone over the line with Backstrom, and the pass was behind him. Then Stewart caught Backstrom with a high stick. Backstrom went to the ice. Well, that was a rather unusual play, and that looked like Stewart was going for that puck, and the stick was hooked by Backstrom up into his own face.
Well, that's the way it looked from here, and I think the point of the stick caught Backstrom right along the lip. It looked as if it just ticked him. I don't think he's badly hurt. As a matter of fact, I think Ralph was looking a little bit hopefully for blood. I'm not sure. There is a bit of blood on the ice, that's right. This Backstrom, Bill, is one of the boys that Staff Smythe has had on his list of wanted players for some time. As you know, I guess he showed me a list a long time ago, and he had on that list McKenney, Bathgate, Backstrom, and Eddie Litzenberger. Well, he's had them all, or has them all, except Backstrom. I wonder if you'll get him.
Well, we're all set for the face-off. Goes back to J.C. Tremblay, over here to number 22, Johnny Ferguson. He's checked by Stewart. Over the line was Shack. Shack went through, still has possession. Centered it out in front, and J.C. Tremblay found that on his first try, but gets it out to, and Bond traps it and takes a long shot. There's a bouncer that Hodge knocked to the corner. Pulford runs into J.C. Tremblay, and it's cleared for Belleville. Belleville ahead to Ferguson. Down the ice he comes, over the blue line. Bond chases him off, but he gets his pass across the goal mouth. It's cleared out to Pulford, and there's going to be a penalty there to Bond. We're at the 6:10 mark of the second period. The 1-1 tie.
Leaves penalty. Number 21, Bond. 2 minutes for holding. Time 6:09.
They call it officially 6:09. Bond for holding.
Bill, I was just going to say how well Bond and how cleanly Bond plays when he gets this penalty.
Well, then from the faceoff, Horton slapped it around on the boards. LaPerriere failed to keep it in as at least Armstrong tipped it down along the boards. And back for it is John Belleville, number 4. To Geoffrion, number 5. Here he comes to his own blue line to center. A pass at the defense. Geoffrion has to go back. To Belleville, number 4, is coming up again over the blue line. A pass for Russo. Keon failed to get it out. Horton slaps it off the boards down the ice. Pulford comes out with Stewart, Stanley, and Horton on the defense. Canadians have the odd man advantage. Geoffrion getting through the defense. There's the shot. Bauer stopped that. And Stanley came from nowhere to knock it off to the side. And it's shot down the ice by Pulford. Johnny Bauer stopped that one from point-blank range off Geoffrion. Doc LaPerriere, number 2. Pass over on the right wing for Russo. Pulford takes a long shot. That's wide. Stewart took a slash at the puck. Broke his stick. LaPerriere comes up the ice. A pass for Belleville, goes to the corner. Pulford fanned on it. Here's Russo centering it right to Stewart. Stewart just shot it out to center ice. J.C. Tremblay over to Richard. He's bumped by Pulford. Now it's Ferguson, number 22, as we come up to the 8-minute mark of the second period. Ferguson coming down the ice. A long shot. Bauer stopped that. The rebound, Alan Stanley. Stanley for Pulford, and he couldn't get out. J.C. Tremblay, the shot, hit Richard on the back of the skate. Pulford for Stewart, and Stewart golfed it out. Vaughn is back on the ice. Now up the ice for the Canadians. A pass for Richard. Got it right into the goal mouth, and Bauer holds it for a face-off. And this game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Molson Canadian. Molson Canadian. Lager beer.
Score is tied 1-1 at the 8:22 mark of this second period. Now then, Mahavlich clears it to the blue line to Kelly. Now Bond carries on to center. Over the red line to the blue line with Kelly. Kelly closing in, into the corner, centered it out in front, and Terry Harper was there. Richard, a pass to Balone at center, up to the Leaf blue line. He waits, takes his shot. Bauer stopped it to Bond, to Armstrong. Balone breaks it up. George Armstrong to Red Kelly, a flip pass for Mahavlich, too far. Provo comes down the ice. A pass for Richard. Armstrong broke it up. Talbot given a shove by Mahavlich. Goes into the Leaf zone, and Bob Bond back. A pass for Armstrong to Mahavlich. Back to Armstrong. Over the Montreal line. Armstrong centered it for Mahavlich. There's the shot. It's way wide. Mahavlich tried to keep it in. It deflected off him, and Balone covers up for the Canadians. He's given a bump. Provo with it along the boards. Holds it there for a face-off.
You know, when the Canadians made the deal for this Dave Balone last summer, Bill, I wondered what they saw in him. He had got 11 goals for the Rangers, but obviously they knew something. He's had 24 goals this year, I believe, and he's an outstanding player.
Offside at the Montreal blue line. It was out and in again very quickly off the stick of Alan Stanley, number 26. It's Keon, Bathgate, and McKinney. Backstrom with Hickey and Russo. LaPerriere playing on the defense. Backstrom skated off by McKinney. Up the ice for Russo. A flip pass for Hickey. And Horton skated him off. Cleared it back to center. Russo coming back down the ice for Montreal. Over the line. He falls as Horton bumped into him. Dave Keon. A pass to McKinney. Up the center. Over the line to Keon. Keon closing in. Passed it right in front. Horton lets it go, and it's wide. And it goes all the way out to center. Pass to Bathgate. Over to Keon. Keon going in with McKinney. A pass for McKinney, and he was too well covered. Comes back for Horton again and bounces out to center. Stanley with it, number 26, up to McKinney. Over the line for Bathgate, and he was checked. Russo with it at center ice for Montreal. Over the blue line. Shot it wide. Hickey after it. He centered it out in front. Here's Jeffrey on number 5. Watched by McKinney. He got it out, though, in front. Hickey couldn't reach it. Hickey then picks it off, hands it right to Bathgate. Bathgate to McKinney. Down the ice they go. Over the line, and Bathgate was nowhere near. McKinney then stole it. McKinney closing in from the right side. Pass for Bathgate. It goes to the board. Cleared out on the wing. There's Vaughn taking a long shot wide. And Bathgate with it. A pass for Shack. Just failed to click. Hofford moves up. It goes in behind the goal. J.C. Tremblay, a pass to the blue line. Backstrom getting it out of the wing to Jeffrion. There's the long shot way up into the end blue. Almost up to the penalty clock. Score is tied, 1-1. Now set for the face-off inside the Leaf blue line. It's knocked out to John Ferguson, a long shot. Bauer to Brewer. To Bond. A pass ahead to Pulford. Pulford up at center. Over the line. Trying to go through. Shack does. Standing it right in front. And Stewart failed to get to it. Brewer keeps it in with a shot that's wide. John Ferguson after it. Jeffrion fell. Talbot covers up. And play is called for a face-off in the Montreal zone to the left. Face-off in the Montreal zone. We've played 12 minutes and 15 seconds of the second period. It's a 1-1 tie. From the face-off, John Ferguson. A long pass into the Leaf zone, and Brewer's going back for it to touch it. Icing will be the call.
You know, Bill, this John Ferguson might have won the Rookie of the Year award if it hadn't been for that fight he had with Ed Westfall, in which he had his thumb nearly amputated. He got 18 goals, although he missed 11 games.
On the face-off, it goes to the board. Play is called. It was knocked ahead with a glove. Ready to go for the face-off again in the Montreal zone. On the draw, the Canadians with Ferguson coming out on the left wing. Pass to Jean Beliveau, number 4, over the blue line. Drop pass for Jeffrion. He's checked. Harper. Watched by Brewer. A clearing pass to Jeffrion. Back for Beliveau. Stopped by Shack. Shack then bumps into Harper. Pulford. A pass for Stewart. Back to Pulford. Then Bond moves up. Over the line. Play is called. And Harper and Shack will get penalties. Well, it wouldn't take too much to start something now.
Well, I don't know. After seeing that first game in Montreal, Bill, I have to think these teams are well behaved tonight. I think we had 10 penalties before the 5-minute mark in that first game, so they're on their good behavior tonight.
Canadians penalty, number 19, Harper, 2 minutes for roughing. Leafs penalty, number 23, Shack, 2 minutes for roughing. Time, 12:57.
12:57 is the time of the roughing penalties to Harper and Shack. Modlich, Kelly, Horton, and Stanley. Richard, Controvo, Jacques Laperriere, J.C. Tremblay. Stanley, a pass for Mahavlich, offside, Red Kelly on the right side, and the face-off is outside the blue line. Henri Richard, number 16 for Montreal Canadiens. Teams playing 5-a-side. Kelly flicks it over the line, failed to get to it. Horton back at center. Watched by Richard. Gets away from him, comes up to his own blue line. A pass from Mahavlich. He flicks it in, goes wide of the net. Hodge had it bounce off his glove. Then J.C. Tremblay had it tip his stick. Kelly falls down. It's Henri Richard outside the blue line. A pass to Jacques Laperriere. His shot, Bauer caught it and held it long enough for a faceoff. Stanley and Richard bumping. From the faceoff, back to Mahavlich, to Alan Stanley, back to Horton. Horton coming down the right wing with a pass from Mahavlich's center, and Richard broke it up, then Horton slapped it back in. Hodge came out of the net. J.C. Tremblay to Rod Provo was knocked down by Stanley. And Provo just saw Stanley at the last second, who'd moved all the way up to the Montreal blue line. Stanley, a pass to Kelly, to Mahavlich. Mahavlich back to Horton. Horton over the line, got it to the far wing. Mahavlich back to Stanley. Stanley takes his shot, bounced over Mahavlich's stick, back to Stanley, over to Horton. There goes the shot, and it hit Laperriere. He races down the ice. He's got a breakaway. He went too far. Stanley gets in ahead of him. Clearing pass off the boards for Mahavlich. With Kelly over the line. Kelly trying to cut in. He's standing right to Mahavlich. He shot it wide on his second try. Richard comes back. A pass for Talbot. Passed it right in front of the net. Brewer has it. A flip pass for Eddie Shack. Stopped by Talbot. Keon against the boards with Talbot, and they hold it there for a face-off. And this game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Got a thirst for a lager? Get Molson Canadian, the clearest, brightest lager beer that's brewed today.
You notice who was the first defenseman back there on Jacques Laperriere's breakaway? Alan Stanley. What a series he's having.
And the Leafs send Keon, number 14, with Don McKenney and Andy Bathgate. Backstrom with Hickey and Russo. Bob Baughan, a long shot. That goes in behind the Montreal goal. Terry Harper watched by McKenney. It comes back to Brewer. His shot was wide. McKenney flicked it right from in front. And Hodge got a piece of it. Clearing pass down the right wing for Russo, and it's offside. Face-off will be inside the Montreal blue line. Kenny flicks it wide of the Montreal goal, goes after with Terry Harper, who beat him to it, but he passed it right to Brewer. Brewer's shot was wide. Comes over on this wing, and Hickey flicks it out to Bobby Russo, down the ice with Backstrom. Over the blue line, Russo fell, and Carl Brewer. A pass to Keon. Keon and Bathgate and McKenney over the line together. And a pass intended for McKenney hit a leg. Bill Hickey cleared it out to center. Brewer to Bathgate. Up to Shack. Shack behind Brewer. And it gets by Shack to Bobby Russo. Here's the long shot. Bauer stopped it. Keon to Bathgate. Too far. Talbot. A pass for Hickey. It gets in their skates. Shack nearly got loose. Back for Russo. Over the Leaf line. It hit Keon. Eddie Shack to Bathgate. Bathgate down the ice. Over the line. Tried to pass it through. Talbot shoots it out. Knocked down by Jeffreyon's high stick. And this game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
The big ale in the big land is Molson Export Ale.
We have 3 minutes and 12 seconds remaining to play in the second period. The score is tied 1-1. Montreal Canadiens 1, Toronto Maple Leafs 1. Shack, a pass for Pulford, back to Stewart. There's the shot. Hodge got a free. Pulford scores! Pulford scored for the Leafs. He whacked in the rebound.
Bill, that was Pulford's 19th playoff goal in 52 playoff games. I guess that's what you call a money player, right?
That's for sure. I'll ask you that next time we have a moment. I want a good definition of these money players because, you know, a lot of people have different interpretations of that. That goes into the
Montreal
zone.
scored by number 20, Pulford.
On the ice for Provo.
Number 12, Stewart. 23, Shack. Time, 16:55.
16:55. It's cleared to the blue line. Pulford clears it down the ice. It's going to go over the red line. And it'll be icing. And Milt, as I mentioned, a lot of people wonder what the real interpretation is of the money player.
Well, the money player who is the man who comes up with the big goal. Not when you're leading 5-1, but when the score is 1-1. And he comes up with that goal. Or he's Turk Broda, who used to come up with the shutouts in the title.
Toronto Maple Leafs 2, Montreal Canadiens 1. With 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining to play in the second period. On the faceoff, Provo back to Talbot, at least to Harper. His shot was knocked down in front. Play is called. Going to be a penalty here. Leafs are going to get a penalty. Bob Bond, number 21, is going to the penalty box. That's the 6th penalty of the second period and the 4th to the Leafs.
Leafs penalty, number 21, Bond. 2 minutes for holding. Time, 17:29.
17:29 is the holding penalty to Bob Bond. The Canadiens have the odd man, 6 men to 5. Trailing in the hockey game 2-1. Ready to go. It's Henri Richard, Dave Ballone, Claude Provo, Boom Boom Jeffreyon, and Talbot. It's in the circle there, and they hold it. Keon eventually sitting on the puck. Face off in the circle. It goes near the net. Richard back to Provo. His shot. Bauer stopped that. It's all around the goal. Comes back for Jeffreyon. And his shot hit a leg. Ballone has hurt his leg. He can't. He's trying to get off the ice. Dave Ballone has really hurt that leg. Down the ice for Horton. Trying to cut in. Right in front. Keon shot it. Hodge stopped it from point-blank range. Back up the ice for the Canadiens. Over the line. Stopped by Stanley. Broke his stick. Armstrong shoots it down the ice. Back for Jeffreyon. Over the line to Ferguson, and it's knocked out by Horton. Pulford backhands it into the Montreal zone. 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining in the second period. Geoffrion, a pass to Talbot. Talbot coming up to his own blue line for Montreal to center. He lost it, but shot it into the Leaf zone at the last moment. Ron Stewart to Bob Pulford, and Pulford shoots it down the ice.
Last minute of play in this period.
Less than a minute to go in the second period. 2-1 for the Maple Leafs. Talbot out on the left wing. He's checked. Pulford gets a hold of it. Down with Stewart over the line. Pulford shot. Stopped by Harper. Along the boards. A pass goes to the far wing from Talbot to Russo. Bob Bond getting set to return in 1 second. It goes to Beliveau. Beliveau hit by Stanley. Stewart gets it over to Horton. Horton takes a long shot right on. 23 seconds remaining in the second period. Bond bumped into Harper. Down the ice for Beliveau. It's at the blue line. Russo trying to turn with 6 seconds. A pass for Beliveau. He shot it in behind the net. It goes to this wing. Bob Bond after it, and there goes the bell to end the